So many buttons.
Welcome
so many buttons.
to intro. We had an intro this time. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're back and we're live and we had intro. So welcome to SketchUp Live, everybody. It's Friday. It's noon where I am. And we're going to do this thing. So yeah. How's everybody doing? We don't have nobody's saying anything yet.
Man, it's noon where I am too. This is so weird.
That's right.
Being in the same time zone.
Welcome.
Keggy
Welcome
says,
to the-
hello, everyone, from sunny evening in Devon, UK, because he's on the other side of the world. So,
Good evening.
ooh, and another Englander.
I guess everybody's busy on this side of the pond.
Mm.
So we're doing it wrong.
It is either the first week of school or the weekend before school starts for a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
there's that going on.
Which means, could be, I've been noticing this in a lot of things that are going on right now. A lot of people are running out doing their last vacation of summer around here, where attendance at events is not, or attendance at workish sort of daytime events is low, but attendance at things that are fun to do outside, like on vacation, seems to be pretty high. So it's that time of year.
It's that time of year.
Speaking of summer, we're going to do another summary model today. So, we're going to take an existing model of a home, and we are going to do some demo. We're going to do some new build. We're going to renovate and add a sunroom to the back of a house. It's going to be something.
Cool. Let's get into it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Yeah, let's just go. All right, so I don't know if we'll go, if this will happen as fast as last week's. Last week's model was like an hour and a half, and we're like, well, perfect. Let's get out of here. I don't know if it'll be that quick this time. But so this is a house. This is my house, actually. I got a model of it. And I want to replace this. I use this model to design my deck that I built during the pandemic. It is a no-frills deck, because I don't know if you guys remember how much materials cost in the middle of COVID, but it may not look like it, but this deck's over $1,000 right here.
I remember a project that I was working on in the middle of the pandemic where walnut was cheaper than plywood. So I made a project completely out of walnut because that was a cheaper option than plywood.
Man, it was a crazy time. It was a crazy, crazy time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I want to use this model. So before we hop in and design this, I don't want to get too crazy with it. Really what I want to work on is, I'm more concerned about the workflow we go through to take this model and convert it into a model with a sunroom, as opposed to the sunroom itself is going to be, I think, a fairly simple model, but we'll see. As far as this goes, I built this model originally with the intention of just modeling a house. I just modeled the house that I don't remember if I think it had preliminary plans or something like that, but I wanted to create the model. And then I later used it to just do a quick takeoff for this little deck. But I'm saying this to say this model wasn't purpose created for this process that we're going to take it through. So what I want to do is I want to break this model into three pieces. I want to have a section of the house that is existing, which would be most of it. Is the existing is all going to stay the same. I want to take a portion of this house and mark it as demolition. This is the pieces that are going to be removed, and then have a third section that is all new build. So I'm going to do that with three different tag groups. We'll do existing, demo, and new, and we'll put all the existing parts into that model, or into that setup. Those tag groups. So if I come over to tag right now, like I said, this was kind of, I'll be honest, if you watch our videos, you've probably seen this house before, because I have used this as a complete house to do things like sections, and I think it's been maybe on another live model before. This may even have been modeled live, I don't remember, but it's got tags that were kind of brought together as I did the modeling process. Maybe no official template or anything like that. I just kind of started grouping stuff and putting them on tags as I needed for the model I was building. So I say all this to say this is not a weird spot for me to work from where I don't have a purpose-built model. A lot of times if I have an existing model, it was built for some other purpose and I repurpose it. So that's what we're going to do right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab everything and I'm going to add it to a new tag group called existing. So right now, everything's existing. I'm going to add a demo and I'm going to add new. Whoops, I want that actually outside.
So I'm terribly curious. Is this one of these projects where you may actually build the thing that we're modeling today if you like it enough?
Absolutely not. Nope.
Oh, okay.
No intention. So a little secret about our house. So we live in, as I've mentioned before, a town called Longmont in Colorado. We're right at the base of the foothills, and this side of my house faces directly towards the mountains. It faces directly west. So about 1 o'clock, and this, so we have some trees. We have more trees than is shown here, and they've grown up a little bit. But from about 1 o'clock till 7 o'clock, there's a direct line from the sun to this portion of our house. And if I built a sunroom out on the back of this house, we could probably just cook on the floor in there. Because right now in the summer, when it's like 90 plus degrees, our deck is hard to walk on because it gets so hot. So
we should have made this a patio project. And so you could create some sort of awning and shade, and
it would have been great. But again, like I said, my budget was stretched with the meager supplies I had delivered from Home Depot, and I was not willing to go beyond. So
fair enough.
Good question. Because sometimes these design sessions are self-serving, and the thing we designed does get built, but not in this case. Or sometimes printed. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So I want to start coming in here and thinking about what I want to build. So what I think I'm going to do is something along the lines of, I'm just going to do some quick sketching right here. Somewhere around here, between where this door is and this window is, I want to create like let's say about 15 feet. Like something like that for an opening. I'm going to have that opening in the house taken out, and then have that be totally encased by the sunroom that comes out on the outside. I would like it to be at the same height as the existing floor, so I want to build it up. Maybe we'll put like a foundation with stone or brick or something like that. I like to be as much glass as possible, glass on the roof, glass on the walls, all glass. And I want to be conscious, of course, what's on the inside, so I make sure that whatever this opening doesn't mess with anything inside. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going to go for. I thought about, well, we could just leave this, take the slider open, have a cased opening, or even leave the slider. That is an option. But I wanted to do the most impact on the existing building. I want to have as much demo as possible. Because it's virtual. Swing the hammer, you know what I'm saying?
If you don't have to do the work, then go for it. Just.
All right. So there's a couple pieces that are obviously going to come out. Like I said, this slider is not going to be part of the new thing, so we can put that into demo. I'm going to turn demo off right now, and then I'm going to take this piece right here. I want to take that instance and stick it on to the demo tag. So the demo is currently not actually a tag, it's a folder. So what I need to do is I need to create at least one tag inside of demo. So inside demo, I'm going to make one, and I'm just going to say door. And now I can take this and I can go to door. So now I could toggle that demo door on or off. It's kind of nice. This deck as well is not going to be here if I put a sunroom here, of course. So I'm going to have to go burrow in a little bit because this is inside of a group. So if I double click in here, there's my deck group. So I'm going to take that same thing. I'm going to come here to demo. I'm going to say create deck. And then I can change this from where it's at right now into deck. So now you'll notice that when you come up here to place this, it doesn't tell you what folder it's in. So you may, if you depending on how you do this, you may want to name this demo deck or demo whatever. I know there's only one deck tag, so it's not that big a deal for me to do that. But that's another option where you get to decide how you want to organize that stuff. All right, so that gives us this. I got a line right here.
Speaking of this, because I was waiting for a good segue,
Right.
we have people joining us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on here on YouTube from all over the world. We got people from Devon, UK, from England, from Massachusetts, from Newfoundland, Canada, from the Netherlands, Kongsberg, Norway, Amsterdam, St. Albans, UK. Oh my goodness. Scroll. All the places. From France, from Colorado, another Colorado resident, from Bergen, Norway. We got people from South Africa. From
Awesome.
I'm gonna say this right because they helped me out. Kluchborg, Poland. Yeah, just oh my gosh. Worldwide audience. It's amazing. Every week that we come on here and do this just to see all the people literally tuning in like in the evening or the middle of the night just to watch your face, Aaron.
Hey, your face is up here too. This is a group effort.
I know it's so weird having two faces up here.
And I just want to I just got to give Donovan props remembering how to say Kluchborg. That was
they added a pronunciation guide in the comments, so it really helped.
I thought you remembered it from whatever that was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, yes.
It's not.
Because last time
right.
it was terrible how bad I butchered it. So yeah.
Yeah, he did a terrible job. Yeah. I'm just kidding. All right, so we have our 15-foot opening. Like I said, I just kind of threw this up on the wall. This is about how big my opening is going to be. I want to do a couple things. I want to take this opening all the way up to the ceiling. I'm not going to design framing. I'm not going to do engineering on this. I'm going to assume that across this 15-foot span, we can put some sort of a structural header board across here to hold the joist up. I'm assuming all that's going to work itself out. I'm playing designer, not engineer today. So I'm going to take this piece and move it vertically, and I'm going to inference the top of the ceiling on the inside. So that's how big the opening will be if it goes all the way up to the ceiling. The other thing I have to make sure of is this edge right here. I got to make sure that that opening, when it's cut in, doesn't interfere with my countertop right here. So I'm going to want to scoot it over a little bit. Here would be nice, but I think if we go from the edge of where this existing opening is, I think 15 feet will get us we'll be running into this window right here. So maybe what we'll do is we'll say something, whoa, I was just in the upstairs bathroom. Just checking things out, looking around. Let's say we go from here like 12 inches over. Oh, that is really close.
I am terribly curious. How long did it take you to model your entire house?
Probably, I think it was a weekend project. And it's not in great detail. It is pretty simplistic.
So for us non-Aaron types, we could imagine 2 weekend projects? 2 weekends
in that time. I bet you could do it in that time. I bet you could do it. You could do it. I have faith in you. It really depends on how much, and this is something I played with over time too. Actually, most of this is really part of the initial model, but yeah, it's not highly detailed. You can see, just I think my cabinet fronts are literally just extruded rectangles. All this stuff is pulled off 3D Warehouse. Is this 3D Warehouse? That might be 3D Warehouse 2. That's 3D Warehouse 2. So yeah, I didn't go into great detail. All right, so that's 15 foot. Again, that puts us kind of close to the window, but that's 6 inches off of here. So I want to see if I take this and I move this just another like 3 inches. That's going to make it kind of close here. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and then we'll adjust it. This is why we're digitally designing. We don't have to worry too much about getting it right now. We're not really cutting into the wall. So in here, if I look around here real quick, if I come in here and see that I did my trim in kind of a messy way, because I just have all this trim is just part of the wall. So it's not ideal because I can't grab this trim separately. If I was doing this for some kind of production thing, I'd probably want to put this trim on its own level. In this case, like I said, it's just pulled out around the openings. It's good for me in this case because what I want to do is I want to go just cut a chunk of the wall out and put it on the demo level. In this case, because the trim is there, I can actually make that part of it, which will be kind of nice. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take, I'm trying to decide how to do this. I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to grab this rectangle right here. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to come into the wall that the section that has my walls. I'm going to say edit, paste in place. All right. So now that is the section of wall that I want to put on its own group. I'm in the demo group. So I want to get both sides of the wall. So I'm going to make this a solid real quick. I'm just going to take a line over like this. I'm going to take a line straight down. I'm just going to cut all the way around the trim like that. Oops. There's probably other ways. Like I said before, the smart way to do this is to actually design your model in pieces so that this is easier to do. But when I designed this, whatever, 8 years ago, I didn't know that I was going to be doing this today. I know lack of foresight on my part does not whatever. But here we are. All right. So there we go. So now what I can do is I could come in here and I could grab all of that minus that. I'm just going to, why didn't it get?
I just thought that, like, would it still be live if it was easy?
Well, hopefully this is not coming across as terribly difficult yet. I'm going to take that. I'm going to make that into a group. And then I'm going to Command X. I'm going to cut it. So now that's gone. I can get rid of those extra edges I put in there. So this was built this way on purpose. It has those edges missing so I don't get a seam right here. So there we go. That is that piece. If that is taken out, now what I can do is, now I'm out here out of context, nothing selected. I can say edit, paste in place, and then I can take that group, go to my demo, again, make a new tag called wall, and then I can take that and assign that to my wall level. So now my demo is pretty easy to turn on and off. So this is great. The other thing you can do, you notice these colors over here. A lot of people, right now, a lot of people don't realize what these colors are for over here, but you can actually color code your model. You can actually view your model in color by clicking on the, I gotta remember which button it is. Where is the view? I can't remember. There we go. That button right there. So you can actually see the whole model colored by what tag it's on. What I could do is I could come through here to each of these and I could grab all of these, make that one color. Let's go something a little more fun. What is this? This is existing. So I'm going to go with blue. Blue is a nice color, but not exactly exciting. Oh, I guess you can't. You have to do one at a time. Never mind. I don't want to do this. But one could.
That would take a while. One
could go through here and apply this blue to each of these tags. Again, foresight. If I knew this is what I was doing, and I could actually then visualize with just the colors what's getting demoed, what's new, and what's existing. Okay, this isn't terribly bad. This is only taking a second. It's not like I'm modeling a Cobra or a video card over here or something. That would be silly.
Brad says, nice, easily recognizable back face color. Assuming Aaron got tired of the confusing default gray face back face color. The SketchUp 2025 shaded coloring of the standard white front face coloring. Whew.
I think Dom just called me back fat. That's what I did. putting a little on. I get it. That is exactly what happened. I was doing some. It actually goes way back. I was doing some modeling for some 3D printing, and I did not like the that simple background color. It was not working for me. I'm gonna turn my trees off. Get those out of the way. It was not bad, but what I was doing is I was taking existing models and turning them into solids. So it was real easy to get a high contrast color like that bright purple and see right away if an outside face was coming in where it shouldn't, or an inside face was coming out where it shouldn't. So yeah, that's exactly how that happened. So I'm gonna turn this to a bright red because we're demoing it. Red means demo, everybody knows that. And there we go. Whoop, there we go. All right, so as we look at it now, if we look at it by tag, so that does not affect the colors of the actual model at all. If you apply it to the tag, it's only visible in this one view. But it's a nice planning view because I can get a real quick snapshot of what happens there. And if I'm doing something like creating plans to present to the city or something like that, it's real quick and easy to just toggle between that to show here's what's getting demoed, here's what's staying, and here's what's new, which we'll add next. All right, so if I start demoing, there's some things I have to do. I have to close up my walls. If this is where my opening is going to be, I should probably also change my yard here a little bit too. So maybe I'll do some stuff like, let's turn it back on. Oh, because I have view, address the model, and I want to turn that off. So if I take this piece, I want to cut out this chunk of grass. So same thing, I'll come this way, and then I'll come this far, and then maybe like, I don't know, 3 feet. So I want to, as part of this process, I want to cut this chunk of grass out. So again, same thing, I'm going to make it a group. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to leave here, edit, paste in place, and then I can take that group and add it to a new demo tag called, I'm just going to call it yard because I'm going to put a couple things in here. Okay, I already have a yard. So we'll call it demo yard. No, then let's mess with my, okay, grass. Gotta go with grass. All right, and I'll take that and I'll apply that group to that grass tag. So now I know that I'm removing that. Of course, I want to fill it in with something too. So I'll draw a new group right here. I will sample this, add it right here. And I can grab this, make that into a group, and apply that to a new folder under new. We'll call this rocks. I already know that this is going to bite me. This naming convention I'm doing, is I can already feel it coming to get me. Where's rocks? Rocks. There you go. So now what we could do is we could swap new and demo. So a couple things. One thing, all these extra lines, right? These edges showing up here, not pretty, not fun, not nice. So I want to get rid of these. So what I can do is go to view. I'm going to turn on hide rest of model. And we go just into this view right here. So when this is on, I can come in here and shift erase these two edges. I can come into this one, same thing, shift erase, whoops. Going far enough. Shift erase this edge and this edge, and this edge and this edge. So all of those are going to be gone in this one. So now when the new layer or the demo layer is turned on, the grass looks like this. And when I turn on the new layer, I just got to come in here and shift erase this edge and this edge. Now I have a seamless switch between new and demo. Let's notice I have this turned on, which I don't like. I don't like profiles anymore. New materials have chased me off of profiles, but it also looks cleaner with my lines, my edges here. So something else I want to do, I want to create some scenes. So it's real quick and easy to toggle between existing and new. So let's make a couple of scenes. Let's make a scene. All right, so I'm going to come in here.
That's what we do every week. What are you talking about?
That's right. I'm going to drop down expand my scene box. And the only thing I want to show or toggle with this is visible tags. So I'm going to turn everything except for tags off like that. And then I'm going to hit plus. And I'm going to create a new scene. That scene's now called scene 1. I'm going to change that to current. And then I'm going to come in here, turn demo off and turn new on. And I'm going to make a new tag out, or new. I'm calling it the right thing. At least I'm saying tag. I'm saying the right thing. It is a tag. I'm not saying the L word. But yes, I want to make a scene. plus scene. And we're going to call this future. Because I'm not trying not to use new and existing and demo, because those are my tag groups. So, all right. So now I should be able to real quickly just hop between and see how everything looks. If I wanted to get rid of these edges, I could do that too. I could come in here, and really I don't need these edges around here at all, because they all close up. And then I could do the same thing. I could say shift, erase these edges, and then that'll blend right in with the existing model. Same thing on the inside. Come in here, get rid of this one, this one, this one. Oh man, who would be so silly as to model that stuff? All is just anyhow. Who would do that?
Who?
All right, so in doing that, there we go. I got a much cleaner look. This one's probably over here. Yeah, let's go shift, get rid of those two, and then if I click out of that group, I should have everything closing up. Oh, got one more. So that just hides those edges. So this is still a separate piece. It's just the edge around the outside's gone. So now, pretty quick to flip between the two. And that's worth doing because I can continue to use these two things as I move through the modeling process. I keep banking on the actual Sunroom being a quick and easy model, and I hope so, because I'm already half an hour in and we haven't even started to model anything new. All right, so now I need to start some new pieces. One of the new things, of course, is going to be to close up all of this right here. So I will come in here with a rectangle like this, bring it down to here. I don't know what my trim's going to do, but I'll just throw this on like that. And I'm going to do one probably across the top. I need to turn on my hidden geometry so I can connect to that. There we go. Drop that down to here. Again, close up my trim so I don't have that purple face showing. All right, and now what I could do is just grab this and make that into a new group. Put that group then, excuse me, close my scenes, bring my entity info back up, and put that group onto a new layer. New, I'm just going to say wall closure. There's probably a better name for that. I don't know. It's going to close up the walls. That's what it does. So I'm going to go in here and change my tag to my wall closure. There we go. So now, again, I can flip between, here's my current, turn off my dotted lines, here's my future, and everything's closed up. We're ready to put a sunroom on. Now, obviously, more could go along with this. I could do that exact same process I did with changing the rock or the grass to rock. I should probably say that.
What was that?
Let me tell you what happened here.
Okay.
I grabbed this model and I looked at it and said, yep, I deleted some entourage. I had like bikes in the garage and some other washers and dryers, some other entourage in here that weighed it down a little bit. And I just deleted those out. And then I saved a copy of it as Sunroom. So at no point during the last 30 minutes exactly did I look up and see the word untitled. So I didn't worry about saving. Yep, that's my system.
You know
folks.
what? We're 30 minutes into this. Nobody said anything in the comments about saving.
I'm going to assume that you guys did the same thing. You looked up there and saw a name and thought you just missed it. But no, I have not saved till right now. Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Living on the edge. Whoa, boy. All right. So I was saying I could go through the same process. You can see here I have a split between hardwood and carpet. So that's kind of weird. Maybe I'd want to do something a little bit different to, I don't know. Got a sunroom, got to go all hardwood. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, that could be done same way I did the ground over here. What I want to start with is let's get in here and let's get a foundation kind of thing going here. So I'm going to just draw a rectangle straight down like this. I'm going to pull it out like 10 feet. And then we need to have that go underneath the sunroom walls because they're going to come out like this because I have 15 foot on the inside. So I'm going to pull that this way. I don't know, 5 inches. I don't know how wide sunroom walls are. 5 inches. All right, there we go. And that's going to be my floor. And then I'm going to have, I don't know, maybe I'll have steps coming down on this side or something like that. All right, that looks good. And I should say this. This whole rock versus grass thing is just kind of a standard in American yards or gardens or whatever. I know we have a lot of people from Europe, so I'll call it a garden every once in a while. We call it a yard here. I don't know where it came from, but is to have like the grass usually doesn't go up to structures and stuff like that because when you go to cut the grass, then you don't have to worry about edging and messing up your edge of your house or something like that. So we usually end up with some kind of border between. Just saying that in case anybody out there doesn't have that. So we've got this. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to make it to its own group. And under new, I'm going to create a couple tags. I'm going to create sunroom foundation. I'm going to create one called sunroom walls. I'm going to create one called sunroom roof. And I'm going to put this one onto, of course, sunroom foundation. So again, that's all part of my current tags. You know, it's a funny thing. Working tags is something that I never thought about for years. Like I never stopped to think, wow, it'd be so easy to do that. For the longest time, back when they were layers, so I'm not saying the wrong word. They were layers when I did this. I would go flip stuff on and off all the time. And I never really realized how quick and easy it is to make a couple. I always thought scenes were everything, right? Scenes are going to move your camera around. They're going to change the colors and styles. And it's too much work. Don't do it. But it's so quick and easy to do this so I can hop back and forth like this. Oh, man. Stupid old Aaron. Younger Aaron was stupid.
Because you said you did this 7 years ago, 8 years ago?
This model, yeah, something like that. Been in this house for 9 years now, and I think I may even have originally modeled this before we moved in. So this might be going on 10 years old. So, yeah. It's a classic. That's what we call that. All right. Let's take this foundation. Let's do a little bit more work on it. I'm going to come in here with some colors because I like that. I'm going to go grab some brick, maybe. I don't know. Looks all right. I colored the whole thing. I don't want to do that. I want to come in here into context and then color just these three. Just switch. I did. Just switch which one I mean, I don't know if this is the ideal thing or not, but the bricks line up perfectly with the height of what I just did there. So
yeah, that worked out.
I'm going to take that as a sign. Like that's what I should have. Man, that's just... Can we just sit and look at that for a second? Look at that. That's just perfect. Look at this. Oh, it's off by this much. It's off by a 1/16 of an inch. Come on now. All right, I'll stop. I've never had an actual sunroom, so I don't know what's usually in them, but I feel like a tile floor makes sense, right? And you're not going to put carpet in a sunroom. That sounds just crazy talk. So I'm going to go look at some tile and see what would be good out here.
What would be good in a sunroom? That is a fantastic question. I've never lived in a place that's had a sunroom, so
Nor I.
look at that.
It's kind of fun. It gives me sunroom vibes. You guys tell me. You guys tell me in the comments what kind of floor do you put inside of a sunroom? Because
1950s diner. Yes, we are unexperienced in this regard. Not that that's stopping us from like designing an entire one, but you know.
That's right. Me draw good. That's the important part. All right. So what I want to do here is I want to do something. I want to have a little bit of a slope coming down like this. Again, I live in Colorado. We get a lot of snow, so you can't really have a whole lot of flat roof, especially on commercial. So I want to have a little bit of a slope coming down. I don't want the front to drop too low. So right now, the back, the opening is 9 feet. So maybe up front, dropping maybe a foot. So let's see. If I go right here and I put a line straight up, 8 foot, that's to right there. So I'll bring that back to the wall here.
Ooh, Kagi says hardwood every time. And Mod says travertine. Travertine. John says large tiles that won't expand. Travertine. I'm going to look this one up. Travertine. Time to learn.
All right. So this
right limestone. Here,
limestone.
Yeah.
That I have heard of. Not that uneducated. Limestone. I'm trying to think. All right. So this right here goes from a foot down. So this is 8 feet. It's a little bit of a drop, but this is going to be all glass. So I don't feel like we'll be losing anything. The ceiling will be glass as well. And then this comes up another 3 feet. So that's a pretty good, let's see what that's, so that is a 3.5 slope. That's going to work. I think that'll be okay. So that's what I want the profile of my sunroom to look like. Let's talk about how this is going to work. Again, totally making this all up. Let's say we offset this like, I think I said 5 inches on the other side, something like that. How wide is this? It's probably not going to be one piece of glass, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a rectangle. I take that rectangle, I'm going to move it from here all the way down to here, and then say divide by 3, and that's going to give me evenly spaced panels like that. And then I can just clean up the edges. Then I need to talk slower. Then once that is done, there we go. Yep. I'm going to grab these 3 pieces, which, that's pretty tall. That's a big piece of glass. That's probably not going to be okay. That's 10 feet tall. So let's drop down from here. And I'll put a line across here. Drop down another 5. 5? So we did 5? Yes. I don't know why 5, but I did 5.
I mean, you're the one modeling, so is it 5?
I'm making this all up.
Okay.
I don't know how doable any of this is, but yeah, I'm making it 5. All right, so that's the profile of my sunroom. That's what it's going to look like from the side. So a couple things I want to do here. I want to use this piece. I want to take that piece and make it into the structural portion of the side of my sunroom. And I want to hold on to these pieces to make them glass at a later point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these pieces right here. I'm going to make them into a group just to hold on to them. And then I'm going to double click here or triple click and make that into a new group also. That group, whoops, I got to do that the opposite direction. Hold up. All right, so I got to grab this piece first, make that into a group first, and then grab these ones and then make those into a separate group. There we go. Now I can come into this one. I can grab that, bring that through, make it that 5 inches that I had there. That'll be one wall. I'll take that, copy it. And it is a group, not a component. That's intentional because on this side, I'm going to put a door in here. So this profile will change. I can take this piece right here, scoot it in, that, and then come in here and give this a nice glass material. Ooh, sunroomy. Yep. All right. We don't have environments on, so I'm not getting reflections right now. So let's fix that. I'm gonna go ahead and save. And then, oh, actually, before I do anything else, I'm gonna grab these pieces and I'm gonna assign them to my sunroom. Oh man. Okay, so oh no, they're there. Foundation. Nope, not it. That's not it. So here's what happened. For real. Notice my sunroom. Why did my sunroom?
Kanan says sometimes the models you want to hide are out of view. Zoom out, select the models you want to hide, return to scene, go edit, hide, and update the scene. I don't know if that has anything to do with what you're facing right now, but he just threw up that comment. So, and then Patrick is asking, Aaron, are you going to use SketchUp Diffusion to create a rendered image when you finish the summer house or the sunroom?
Wasn't planning on it, I'll be totally honest. I don't even know that I have a current version of Diffusion installed right now. So
Keggy is saying, is this a sunroom or a conservatory?
Tomato, potato, motorcycle. You can all call whatever you want. We can call it. Is it the floor? Is the floor giving conservatory vibes?
Maybe.
I'm not married to it. We can change it. But before I go any further, I do want to save. Slide this off the screen, and let's get some environment turned on here.
Randy says it's time for ambient occlusion.
Oh, so good. Yeah, thank you, Randy. You guys got to remind me of this sort of stuff. Remind me of the things I like. No, that's not saying if we need some warm. I need like yellowy warm sun. That's not it. Oh, that's it. See, that's what my house looks like. Sun baked on the back. I bet the siding on the back of my house is like 2 shades lighter than on the side. Does not sound good, but yeah. So let's see.
So you're saying this model is truly indicative of your living situation?
It looks pretty close.
Yeah.
The shadows are actually a little harsh. We'll have to change that a little bit. But yeah, this is the right look. This is a little too much. This feels like something's gonna melt. I'm gonna go to my styles and I'm gonna go here. Sometimes yes, if you turn on shadows and you get this thing floating here, this is actually a shadow from this wall falling on the ground plane. Same thing out here. See this? It's like a river of chocolate around.
I did not know that it did that.
That's right.
Interesting.
So there's a couple things you can do. You can turn off shadows on ground plane, or you can actually just come and well, actually, yeah, because we just get rid of my ground plane altogether. But yeah, let's go. Actually, I can move it up. That's not something else I could do. But at this point, if I grab all of this and move it up, guess what's not moving up with me right now? All my tags that are turned off are not coming with me. So at this point, since it's all the same to me, I might come into my shadow settings and turn off on ground. There we go.
Is it all the same to you? That's the real question. Okay.
I don't really care about that. So again, because shadow settings are not saved as part of my scenes, I don't have to like go update both of them, since all that's in here is my tags. So something else to be conscious of. All right, looking good, looking good. Yeah, this is too much. I feel like I'm under a spotlight right here. We're gonna go to environments and find something different. I wanted something warm, but not quite that.
Ooh, that is very shaded.
Yeah, we got to move the sun around to the other side. Let's go here. Oh, fuck, boy, I'm having a hard time hitting that. All right, come on around. Come around, son. What? It is very possible. Let's see. So if that's north. Yes, my whole house is facing the wrong direction.
Oh, okay. It's like,
So yeah, so we're looking at real sun right now, and this is the problem: is my house, like I said, my house faced east. So this is east, and right now this is going north. So it's facing the wrong direction. So what we could do to fix that, if we do want to make a change to something like that, what we'd have to do is go to tags. We have to turn all the tags on so we can grab all the stuff, make sure nothing is hidden. So it's going to look ugly back here because all of our stuff's overlapping, but that's okay. And then I'll grab everything. Come here to the origin. We'll rotate it. All right, so that's north. And now the sun is hitting the back of the house just as it should. And I could go a little further and I could actually like geolocate this in Longmont, but that's good enough. That's coming in the way it should. That looks awesome. So now we can go ahead and
Patrick says floating house. Love it.
Always an option. Well, that's interesting.
Huh. Why is it doing that?
It's casting an odd shadow. Yeah, which is basically looks like this is very special fencing. That's 50% non-shadow casting. I don't know what's going on there. All right, let's move on with our what we got going here. Okay, let's get a front wall in here. So for my front wall, I'm just
Transup says save.
Okay. Not a bad idea. Okay. All right, so let's offset this 5. Slide this over like something like that. I'm assuming there's some sort of material that I want to connect to over there. And then we'll do something 2.5 this way.
Randy says you can put in today's date and time and get an approximation of how the shades look right now.
That is absolutely 100% true. All right, so I'm going to break this into 3 panels. Let's do that. So my UTC is, we're -7, I believe. Plus or -7. What time is it now? It's 12:48.
Yep, 12:48.
It is currently August something.
You're not wrong. It is August something.
No, I can't try. There we go, 15. Now hold on. If that's north, at noon. Wait, am I +7 or -7? Must be +7. I know there's a 7. I just don't remember what our time zone is.
What your time zone is?
Yeah, well, I know we're in Mountain, but I don't remember what that is from Universal time. I think is it +7 or -7?
Oh, that is
All right, so I'm gonna make this a group. I'm gonna move on to things I do know. I'm gonna grab these 3, make them into a new group, and then again, just like I did before, take this, give that a depth of 5. Grab this, scoot it back to the middle.
okay. Mountain time zone of North America is kept by subtracting 7 hours from the UTC.
-7.
So UTC -7 is Mountain time zone for North America.
Well, what am I doing wrong then? Because, well, let me check and see if there's a sun. Yep, we got sun.
I don't think it takes into account cloud cover, does it?
It might be, yeah. No, I mean, this is just afternoon, so yeah, the sun might be like right about here, not quite over the top yet. So, but we could see what would this look like in like 2 or 3 hours. There we go. That's what I'm used to. Yeah, that's the perfectly terrible time for Aaron to go out and try to
Do yard work.
Yeah, burn out here, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I buy that. That sounds right. I don't even know what we were doing anymore. I got lost there.
I don't know.
Okay, so I got to put these two new groups where they're supposed to be.
Patrick says this would look great with bifolding doors. Ooh, geolocate. He also says geolocate. Would geolocate help with the sun?
It probably would. It would. Well, I mean, set it in the right spot. I'd still have to go turn on the use sun for shading to have them show up, which is what I had forgotten last time.
Mm-hmm.
User, it's a little thing I like to call user error. All right. This is looking good. This is looking good so far. So I want to put a door in here, and then we'll make some steps, leveraging these perfectly laid out bricks over here. How tall is one of these bricks? I'm just curious. Roughly 4 inches. All right. Cool. Let's see. I should probably put a roof on. Otherwise, if we ever get rain, it'll be an issue.
Yeah. It's funny, before moving to Utah, everybody's like, oh, August is monsoon season. August is monsoon season. You're going to get so much rain in August. Not a drop. Not a drop.
So normally, I would not recommend modeling with shadows on, but this particular model it's pretty responsive. It's pretty light. And you can see stuff like as I pull this across, look at the shadows show up down there. That's
okay. Neat. Why, Aaron? Why wouldn't you recommend modeling with shadows on?
To be honest, it's just that shadows are demanding. So you guys, if you follow along SketchUp, 2025 came out with a brand new graphics engine. It sped a lot of stuff up, made the modeling much quicker. The shadow, the part of the code that handles shadows was not part of what was fixed or what was changed with that new engine. So the shadow right now, the shadows that are created are with the existing engine, which is not as robust as the new engine. The new engine is what does stuff like shows the shiny materials on brick and stuff like that. So yeah, as of now, your model's not as responsive with that. So, all right, I'll offset this. We'll go 5, and then I'll take this one. No, actually, this is the one that's going to have to move down a little bit.
Oh man, I want to pronounce this fresher fix-ish. There's a comment that came on YouTube saying, please do more of these. Super useful for insights. So yeah, on that note, we do this every Friday. We do these lives every Friday, and we have a list of different ideas for models and things that we can do. So if you have ideas for stuff that you would like to see us model, let us know, because we're usually never. We usually have a plethora of ideas, but if there's a special request that you might have, let us know, because we're always willing to listen to input, as long as it's not Notre Dame or a Shelby Cobra. We'd be willing to do it. The exasperation just dripping out of that sigh is fantastic.
Oh boy, there were some rough ones in the past. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So I did the top a little bit different from the way I did the other sections. The other sections I started as 2D and I pulled them through. I started this as a solid because I wanted to make sure I had the clearance here, the theoretical clearance for everything to match up the way it should. But what I created, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab these 3 and I'm going to make them a group, and then I'm going to copy it with Control-C, and then I'm going to hide it. When I hide it, it goes away and leaves me with this flat flat face again. So I'm going to say edit, paste in place. So that places a new version of those cutout rectangles, which I can then explode, and then I can just pull this through.
Sven says you're going to roast in a sunroom if you make the roof glass.
That's the idea.
That's the idea. We're going for full radiation.
That's right. Well, here's the thing. The thing is that I'm not getting my corner the way I want it. Okay, so I can see a little bit of lag when I try to move while I'm in the middle of a command. I do catch a little bit of lag from those shadows. So I may want to keep my shadow settings here so I can toggle this off as I move, but I was catching a little bit of a lag there. Backing up, anyhow, sunrooms are nice in the winter. They are. I've heard. Because again,
you've
never actually had one myself. But getting that ambient sunlight in there, I don't know.
Terry says tint the glass.
Sure, we do that too. All right, so let me hold on. Okay. So here's my problem. So I want to grab this and I want to take it and I want to move it down to the middle here, but I'm not getting a snap point. You guys ever seen this before? I'm trying to move it. No matter what I do, I can't. It's not on axis, so I can't just like constrain it to move vertically or anything like that. But I'm not getting. I should be getting a midpoint snap right there, but I'm not getting it. Anytime that happens, what I would recommend doing is going to the thing you're trying to move, right-click on it, and see if this is here. If unglue is available in the context menu, that means that the thing you're trying to move is currently glued to the surface. So that means as long as it's glued to the surface, I won't be able to do anything other than move it around on this plane. So by right-clicking and hitting unglue, now I should be able to grab it by that corner, slide down to the midpoint, boom, and then we have that recessed glass panel. Now I come in here, give it all the same colors. There we go. Something I'm noticing is that I am not getting the materiality I was expecting. You guys see that? See
total or just
in general?
In general,
just like okay. So I got a little bit of reflection on here. My white, I'm not really getting much reflection on. Not a whole lot's going on with these bricks. Oh, I didn't realize I have a reinforced glass. Probably don't need that. We're not a elementary school. So let me swap out some glass real quick. How's this one look? There we go. That's better. Cool. I guess I could have just swapped the material out in the model, but I didn't. And I'm kind of wondering if that's because of the material settings. I'm noticing this. If I go home and bring up my material here, obviously this is not the right one since it's not changing. Let's try this one. There we go. That's the one. If I want to tint it a little more, I could tint it. There we go. All right, I like that.
Patrick says, Aaron, that's a great tip about the unglue.
Yes, because that, if you've ever hit that, is the most frustrating thing in the world. Do what I say.
Is it okay? Keenan says, is it possible to add a function to push pull that click Alt while push pulling on a surface to follow the direction of the borders, like joint push pull? Are you frozen?
No.
Okay. I was like, oh no, he's not moving.
Too many words happened that were too similar, and my brain stalled out. Follow the direction at the borders.
Let me read it again. I probably
let me just say this: push pull is always going to go normal to the surface. So if I push pull this surface right here, it's going to go the direction of the surface. I can't use push pull to make it go straight up or straight to the right or anything like that. Push pull is always going to go the direction of the surface. If I wanted to go vertically, I could use something like move, which would let me take it and go straight up like this, potentially. But it's never going to let me do anything other. Push pull is always going to go straight forward. So, yeah. That is the answer to that. So joint push pull does have a bunch of options where you can pick a vector to push pull along. The reason that it has that and those work different is because what joint push pull lets you do is select multiple connected faces, so you can push pull a surface. A surface is a combination of faces. A face is what push pull can be used on, which is one joined up piece of, or one joined up collinear flat section. Hopefully that worked.
Okay.
Here's a little something we showed in a recent video. So in case you didn't catch it, let me learn you. So when I pick some of these, I get like this. My bounding box goes tight around here because it's a rectangular. Same thing at the bottom here. If I pick this one, it goes beyond, but I can understand why, right? Because the max boundary over here and here pushes this corner up. It's still a rectangle around it. When I pick this piece right here, I get this, right? So this big bounding box that goes all the way around the outside. That's because what it's doing is it's creating the bounding box in the absolute direction, or in the max direction of the red, blue, and green axes. And this is what it's getting. Because if I come in here and click in here and see, this is the direction of the axis. So it goes this way and says, here's the end here. That's the end of the bounding box here. It goes this way. Here's the end of the bounding box here. So we get that big exaggerated section. If we want to make it tighter, we just have to make the axes align to the geometry. So what I could do is I could go up to tools and I could say axes, and I could say put that axis right here with the red down here, click again. So now my axis aligns to the geometry of this piece. So when I exit out and now I pick it, see how that bounding box is nice and snug to the edges. It still goes over because it comes outside of that rectilinear shape. It goes that way. But then it gets nice and close in there, so it's not as much falling outside as it was before. I had to grab both these pieces and put them on to my sunroom walls. All right, let's do it. Let's do a quick before and after. Current. Future. Future's looking good. All right. Cool. Spur of the moment opportunity to show you that, and I just I liked that lesson we just did, so I wanted to share that. All right, we're moving along. Moving along. Now, here's a thing I was thinking about, and I thought about this probably too late, but we got like an hour left. There's so much mess I could make right now and still have time to fix it. Let's do it. Oh. When I was messing around with the...
You okay? While Aaron's dying over here, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Oh, you think there's a point in your life. You remember how to swallow.
You would think.
But no, you're never too old to not know how to perform basic functions. Whew. And that's the story of how I drowned in my office. Oh, man. Oh, don't put more in. All right. Okay. I think I'm good. Let's turn shadows back on. All right.
We're great.
Boy. Wow.
Yeah.
I count that as a near-death experience. All right. That was kind of cool. I like it. So there's some stuff we could do. Yeah. So I don't know if where we landed on the flooring. I know that was like 40 minutes ago, but uh, I like that conservatory vibe. That angle looks kind of cool. You guys tell me if this is bad. We can change it, but I think it's got kind of a cool. Donovan, you seem to like it too. So I don't know,
It
you guys tell
works.
us.
It works. Again, this is all conceptual.
Yeah,
You're not turning this into reality. So
based on nothing.
just
Okay, so here's my
diamond
thought.
floor, emerald shades. You could do whatever you
Not
want.
at all. Yeah, that's your thing. Was we could put some nice shades in. One could put shades in here so we could actually close up the roof too. That's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't do overhangs on purpose because the sunroofs I'd seen, a lot of them didn't have that. So I didn't worry about it too much. Somebody asked about overhangs, so that wasn't an oversight. It was an intentional omission. But here's the thing I was thinking about. Let me jump to this real quick because apparently, so we took this slider, we chucked it with our demo, right? Because we came in here and we said, we said get rid of it. So it is in theory sitting over here on the side of the house, ready to go to the dumpster. What if, if we took that, right? What if I copied that? What if we repurposed that into the door for the side of our solarium? I don't know if that means the same thing, but I wanted to feel smart right there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, all right, so I'm going to paste that. It's invisible right now because it's on this tag. I want to bring it into the other tag, so I'm going to select it. I'm going to change the entity to my sunroom walls. So now I'm going to hop over here. I should have that sitting here. Perfect. Let's grab it. Let's rotate it 90 degrees and see how well this lines up with what we already got. Again, I'm making up dimensions, so if I need to change dimensions to make this door fit, I can do that. All right, so if we stick that there and then drop it vertically down in there. All right, so that's where... Well, that's pretty close to perfect, folks. I mean, that lines up real good. Yeah, so let's use it. Let's upcycle this door and make it part of our new sunroom. All right, so here's what I'm doing. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to push-pull to get rid of this. I'm going to push-pull to get rid of this. I don't know why eraser makes a clicking noise, but it does. And then that door almost fits perfectly inside there. Let's get rid of this and get rid of this. Oops. All the edges. Oops. Oh, come on. Work with me. Get rid of all that. And then it's not perfect, but I think we could make it work.
Close enough, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is right.
Again, this is all conceptual. Close enough.
That's right. In theory, as I like to say, pull this back like that, and then we'll bring it out to there. Make this go up, and then bring it down to there. And our existing slider goes right into that space. All right, we're going to do something here. This is ugly. So we have to close this up a little bit more. How far is 5 inches? 5 inches is what everything else is. So pull that out to here. What? And I didn't get the new material on any of these. What? Oh, the backside is still. Oh, come on, man! Your first time using this? What are you thinking? All right. So what I did, funny thing happened here. The inside of all my glass now is still that reinforced material. So, button.
Sven says, do you need bird stickers on the glass? What are bird stickers?
I think that's for people who really like birds and they want to see them more often.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's something to ward off birds, but not a thing I have had to mess with myself. So I'm not saying no, more saying I don't know. Tell me about bird stickers, Sven, because like I said, I am unaware of that particular thing. Or does it be Sven? Anyone wants to hop in and explain to the ignorant host what you're talking about?
Yeah, I am co-host. You can throw me in there. Supposed to stop the birds flying into the glass.
That's not very fun.
Do you have to put them all over the glass so they don't? The stickers stop birds from flying into the reflection they see in the glass. How do you find? Okay. So a question came in. How do you find all those materials on SketchUp for Windows? Everything looks so much easier on a Mac.
The UI is different, but it's still there. It's actually there is a materials button, and that will bring up. It's different. It's the way it's nestled into the toolbar on the side is a little bit different. It doesn't have these across there. There's these small little tabs you click on, but you can see a drop down for where they're located, that kind of thing. So it does exist. It's just in a different spot. All right, I want to bring some steps out. So we got this nice big slider. That's awesome. Let's come into this foundation right here, and I'm gonna go like from here over to about here. What is that? Let's go 4'4". Pull that up, and I'm gonna come down. There. Come down.
John says they don't stop me from walking into a pane of glass.
Never give up, John. I'll take the 6 foot. I like that. I had afraid no bird sticker.
Patrick says the transfers on glass are called manifestations and also stop people from walking into the glass too, mainly used on commercial buildings, I believed. I was about to say I've never heard them, but I also don't build and design commercial buildings.
Fair enough. All right, so I probably want to take this. I want to see what this looks like if I try to do brick here, but I think we'll probably turn this more into like concrete or something here. Yeah, that's dumb. Okay, let's go ahead and drag that like this. And I'll push this in. Wow, that's kind of cool look going on. Look at those shadows cast without the walls that are casting them visible. Weird stuff's happening. Okay, grab all this. We'll throw some concrete on there. The good stuff, the good concrete.
Mod says, can you put some stained glass in the sunroom somewhere, Aaron?
Sure, let's do that. Let's pick a pane and make it a statement.
John says flagstones on the steps.
Flagstone. I wonder if we got flagstone. Ooh, I'm excited. I'm gonna save, and then I'm gonna hit the 3D warehouse button. That is going to take us into 3D warehouse to look for new materials. When I hit the 3D warehouse button from the colors window, then I go into this, immediately go into the materials collection. If you want to get there manually, you can go to your little icon up here and choose materials. Oh, apparently I'm not signed in. So I'm going to just come down here and let's look at stone. Let's see if we got anything flagstone-y. New. It's all marble. Apparently that's all we do. Marble's very easy to make seamless. So it's got, your kind of crazy pattern, so it's really easy to make it seamless. I'll say that as a Coloradoan, we got flagstone everywhere. Everything is flagstone. It's actually a fairly inexpensive product to do exterior patios with out here. Relatively, it's still stone. It's still expensive.
Relatively, it's all relative.
But here, other places where it'd be like a luxury, out here it's kind of like my cousin in his pickup, we went and got some flagstone and I threw it in my backyard kind of thing. Yes, we don't have a flagstone. That's interesting. Now I know that. Let's back up a little bit. Let's just back it up. Let's see what we got in tile. If there's anything similar to flagstone. Here's some exterior pavery looking things. Ooh, I like this. Ooh, look at that. Stone looking.
Snazzy.
It's got the moss in there. All right.
Uh-oh.
Do me a favor, Donovan.
Yeah.
Show me our beautiful faces real quick.
Okay, hold on. Let me...
Security purposes.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn off. Okay, there we go. There you go. Now you're good.
Not that I don't trust each and every one of you, but I'd probably get in trouble. I'd have the IS department going, so why did you show your email and password? What was that about? Somebody would say something about that.
I'm sure you'd hear a thing or two.
What's the opposite of... Can anybody make out from the typing what keys those were?
I've heard that there are programs out there that can listen to typing, and KG says, trust no one.
Who's no one? Why should I? All right, hold on. Wait. Okay, we're back.
Okay, let's jump back to this. Here we go. We're gonna turn that back on.
So as I was saying, this is a fun one. Let's download it and put it into our model. When you grab material off of 3D Warehouse that way, it does load it. That was a segue. I loved it. Oh. Okay. The second time too.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Okay, I'm loving it less, I'll be honest. Is that out of your system? You're hearing this too, right? This is not just coming through my headphones.
What's happening?
The opening music is playing. Did anybody else hear that? Is it just me?
I don't hear anything.
Really? Oh boy. All right. Anyone else? Okay. Yeah. Ahmad saying, what was that?
I don't know. I didn't hear it. Maybe it's on my end. Did I touch something? So many buttons.
There are a lot of buttons. I will give you that. You got a lot of buttons to keep track of. All right, so I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna try this. Like my steps might be a little bit bigger, but I'm gonna offset to the block, kind of thing like that. It's kind of cool. All right, but this isn't gonna work. Look at this repeating. This is silliness. All right, so I'm gonna come in here, position, and just. That's fun. I don't know. I like it. I like the little moss coming up, probably because, again, it's a very regional specific process, but we have lichen on rocks, but not moss so much. It looks cool. And I just want to point out, I don't know, just using this magic number, how high is this? 1'8". That's exactly what this block was. Is that like a standard in tile or brick or something? But
I don't know. It's working out for our purposes, right?
I love it. It's turning out pretty cool. All right. So you notice this is lining up pretty well automatically because these two pieces kind of ended up good that way. This one, not so much. So you got a break right here and the other breaks are here. So all I got to do is come in to that group, texture, position, and I'll just slide this so that those moss lines line up. Wait, what's going on? I think I resized that. I grabbed a handle on it. There you go. Let's just slide that over.
Yeah.
Moss lines.
Nice.
It's the little things, Shows you really care. There we go. Look at that. That looks pretty cool. I like that. I like that better. In fact, we could probably do something like this. Even come back in here. I'm just going now. Now we're just going. We're taking off. I fill this all up like that. And maybe that's where the barbecue goes.
Transom says, best fix your risers. They're not all equal.
One moment, please. What happened? Why did it turn? What happened? All right. Hold on. I got to undo a couple times. Hmm. There we go. A little place to stick my barbecue now. Just stick that right there.
I know somebody made a comment that the music was for the first barbecue to have on this, patio.
The risers are both 8 inches, so I think I'm okay there. They're the same size. Or were we thinking this was a step? This was kind of intended to be more like a separate lower patio kind of situation here.
I mean, this is your house, so you can make it whatever you want.
Do what I want. Yeah. You hear that, building authority? All right, I'm kind of liking this. This is turning out pretty cool. And of course, again, I'm just gonna keep doing this. Boom, 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 boom. And by adding this too, like I said, I don't lose my current. Right now the barbecue's sitting right here, which is great as long as that window's not open. But this drops down a little bit, keeps it in a little bit of shade maybe. It is one of the downsides. I'll be honest. The downside of the way my house is set up is that I kind of like this. I'm starting to like this. Is that if it is a 90-degree day and the sun is being abusive like this, I don't want to cook outside until maybe about 9:30 at night, because stand in front of a hot grill when you got 90 degrees sun. And here's the thing. I mean, people roll their eyes at this, but we're a mile high where we're at, and
that's a mile closer to the sun.
It is. There is less atmosphere between me and the sun, and you guys in the sun. So
maybe we'll just call this a potential sunroom for your Alaska house.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I am not opposed to this thing. I think this is starting to grow on me a little bit here. I wonder if we could get, just from 3D Warehouse, we could get some like bamboo shades or something. Something we could have roll up into this nook right here, but you could pull them down if you wanted to cut down on the shade or on the sun. Let's take a look. Hop up into 3D Warehouse. That was kind of what
Patrick says that's a pretty small barbecue area. Needs to be extended.
Well, I'll be honest. My barbecue looks nothing like the live model we did last time. That was that was a lot. Mine is well, I got the big Weber, but it's charcoal. It doesn't take up that much space. We could probably find it. I'll find it on 3D Warehouse and throw it in there. We'll confirm. I like those. All right, let's download those. All right. Yeah, those are pretty good. All right, so I'm going to put one of these, attach it there.
Patrick says, you don't need to barbecue at that temperature. Maybe just a hot plate.
Seriously. Just throw it on the deck and roast the meat instead of my feet. There we go. I'll take that. We'll go from here straight across to here. 3x. Oh, come on. This is turning out pretty cool.
I know.
I got a little extra shade in the inside. All right, let me just grab it just to see. This is not sponsored anyway, but are there 2 B's in Weber? There might be 2 B's. W-E-B-E-R? Nope, obviously not. All right, let me. Oh, there it is. That's basically right there. Simple charcoal grill. You're simple. All right, we'll take it. That's it. I had a very large, like 4-burner propane grill thing for the longest time, and I just got to be honest. I so much enjoy cooking over real flames of charcoal. I think it tastes better. I can control the heat better. You know, I can.
Everybody's got their preferences, right?
I know, absolutely. I mean, if you're a propane person, I'm not critiquing you. You go for it. But yeah, I really like cooking over coal if I can help it. Yeah, this is starting to change my mind a little bit about. Nah, I'm not going to have that, but no, maybe I'll have that. Yeah, so obviously we didn't build this to fabrication standards. I got some stuff going on where my step, this should probably be, an inch lower below this threshold. There is actually no threshold modeled, but as far as like a planning doc in an hour and a half planning model, this is a pretty good setup to figure out how I want to do this. Something else I could spend a little bit of time on, if I so chose, would be to think about what kind of furniture would I want out here. A little settee, a little table, a little couple chairs maybe. That's some stuff I could think about here too.
That would really open up your kitchen.
Seriously, yeah, because right now, we got a dining room table right here. Yeah, like sitting outside all the time. Look at that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, with the heat we've been having lately,
I know. I was about to say, if it wasn't so terribly uncomfortable to do that, yeah, it'd be great.
Right now, this probably means like an extra $300 in AC costs.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is cool. This was, and contrary to what we were joking about, this was not my idea either. I think, was this your idea, Donovan, or did Justin come up with this?
The sunroom? Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
But yeah,
I don't know.
Kind of a cool project. The thing I am most enjoying is these working scenes. Again, oh no! 1, 2, 3. You put those on a new tag. So we'll go to new, create a new tag. Sunroom Entourage. There we go. All right. I love, and you know what? Talk about thumbnail right here. Okay, so we'll get print screen. And then, boom, like that. Get that diagonal across there, before and after. Yeah, there we go.
Transom saying, looking good, Aaron.
Yeah, I think that turned out pretty cool.
Sorry, no, he didn't say good. He said great.
Oh, come on now.
And then fun. Lawrence says, you forgot to double glaze the windows.
Sorry, let me go grab my glazing brush. No, I didn't do anything. I literally, that's what I said. We're definitely not a fabrication detail model here at all. This falls squarely into the old planning theoretical model. This is what I can go show my wife to see if I can pitch a sunroom. That's what this is.
It might be fun to actually get like a professional in here to look to assess, like to say, hey, here's some SketchUp models we did. What did we do right? What did we do wrong? What should we consider, for the future, that kind of thing. Because honestly, there are a lot of things that we do here on live that we're like, yeah, this is just a design. But I mean, somebody might actually want to build this. And if so, like, what would that actually look like? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that'd be a great idea. If anybody out there has sunroom fabrication chops, let us know.
I wasn't specifically talking about sunroom fabrication, but just in general.
Well, for real, yeah. No, yeah. It would be interesting because there are times where I feel confident in what we put out there. So when we did like the framing models and stuff like that, like I knew that what I was doing was, it would have worked for where I was used to designing for. But sometimes you go in here and it is just a design. It's just to consider, try this out kind of thing. What would I have to do to take this further? And I think one of the things to think about would be a lot of these sunrooms actually come in kits where you can get all these pieces delivered to you. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, would it be as simple as detailing out what it would take to close up this wall and support the truss or the floor joists and everything? Like, would that be all I'd have to do and then get this foundation built up and deliver the
how sunroom? Much of what you took out was load bearing? Like, questions like that. You never know.
Yeah. You mean just putting this glass on the side's not going to support my second floor? Yeah, more likely than not, this would probably drop down into some sort of a beam right across here. This is a big span, 15 feet of no support. Generally built.
But again, conceptual, right?
Conceptual, that's right.
Yeah, conceptual.
You know what? Look, there's also no earth underneath my yard. So in the real world, that's not how it looks. So yeah. But cool. I gotta say, because sometimes I'll admit that every once in a while we launch into one of these and it's not always perfect. It don't always come up with an amazing solution at the end. But I gotta say, like this, I think this turned out kind of cool. I kind of like the way this looks. As far as things I wasn't sure how they were gonna look when we were done, I think this one turned out all right. So now we're kind of at that time where if we have more to do, we do. But if not, we can take a moment or two to talk. Love to hear from you guys if you think there is a specific workflow or type of modeling that you think we should spend more time on. It doesn't have to be something that we would do a full model on here either. It could be something that you think would make an interesting one of our weekly models weekly videos we put out, smaller thing like that. If there's an extension you want to look at, if there's a specific part of SketchUp you think we should focus in on, we'd love to hear those in the comments. We have in the past collected, I don't remember, dozens of ideas for live models. And some of these were like these enormous ancient stepwell models that, I mean,
I feel personally
cool
attacked
structure.
By that comment.
Amazing looking structure. If you've never seen a stepwell, take a look. But probably not a 2-hour model. Probably not a, it's definitely a multi-day, a big model. And then we also get suggestions for very, very specific items. And sometimes I hear those very specific items and like, this person needs to make this for an assignment or something. Because
not that we're trying to do other people's homework or anything.
Right. Model a VW bug. No, it's like model a part number SR7234. Yeah. And those are the ones I kind of laugh about.
Not that we haven't modeled that part before, but
odds are good, possible.
Mm-hmm. Patrick says, how about prompt creation for SketchUp diffusion?
We did a video on that, actually.
We did.
It's been a little while, but it was not that long ago. It was last year. We did a live stream where we did prompt work and a regular video. So John's taking credit for the step well. John, it was a cool structure. And it was one of those things where I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, how could I do that? And I could not for one thing, you look at it, it looks like an optical illusion. It looks like a Salvador Dali painting because
it does.
Oh my gosh, there's stuff going on there, and it looks like lattice when you step back. So cool looking, but
so there's a movie called The Fall, and there's a very dramatic scene in that movie that's in it's one in particular. I think it's in India, or I think in a step well that was just, it's gorgeous. And it's so repeating. I thought it's like, yeah, that wouldn't be too hard for Aaron to model in SketchUp, but you know.
But when you look at it, like every level is different, and then it comes around like the one we looked at curved, or so, I don't know. There was a lot to it.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. I don't know.
So
maybe I'll take a better
Tamara look. On LinkedIn said, if you had an evaluation by a contractor for this model, would you start over or just edit the model?
Honestly, if I was going to get into any kind of detail, I would probably start over. Even again, the model my core model that I used, I probably don't need a lot of it. I probably wouldn't have all of this part of the model if I didn't need it. Maybe just keep the shell. I don't even know that the wall widths that are in this model are actually what's in my house. I don't even know. So, yeah. And considering, I mean, for an hour and a half model that I did, I think this could probably serve the purpose of showing somebody what I want. But I think if I was to go in and actually try to make drawings to submit to the city and for somebody to build from, I'd probably start over. I don't think there's so much in this that I really want to hold on to it or anything like that. So, yeah, I'd probably start over.
That and it goes faster the second time, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think if I really wanted to, I would go out and find one of those existing models of sunrooms or what I was going to order, that kind of thing. Because again, everything in here, from the slope of the roof to the size of the sunroom, it's all made up. So if my wife and I talked about it, we're like, oh, we should really try to do that, I would probably, start over with something specifically built for that.
So Steven says the trick with putting different sections of the build on tags is going to help in my workflow.
Awesome. I love it. So yeah, this is probably something, maybe this may turn into another small video, that one tip, but being able to go through and group those things together just helps so much with visualization, because then you don't have to go hold things in groups or that kind of things when you can't tag that stuff. Oh, we never went back and looked at this either. Hold up. Let me go grab my tags, change some more colors. Put this one back to red. And then let's get our new stuff into green. We'll do a quick view by color and see.
Lawrence says guttering, water runoff.
Again, like the ones I spent minutes researching, you guys, so forgive me. But when I did that, all right, so here we go. So I can see what got changed, what went away. Kind of a cool view. Everything that, there's a little green grill.
There's your thumbnail right there.
Everything I looked at showed a lot of these sunrooms just don't have overhang. So yeah, I didn't worry about it too much. Plus, I'll be honest, again, being in Colorado, we're a desert. We don't get a ton of rainfall, so it might not be an issue. The bigger thing would probably be making these glass pieces hail-proof, because that's probably the more likely, more common issue to run into. But yeah, hey, but you know what? I always say this. You guys got SketchUp. You are welcome to go and put whatever overhangs or gutters or whatever you want. You go do it.
Does this mean you're going to throw this model out there for people to do with as they will?
I genuinely, I a lot of times offered to do that, and then anytime I've said I was going to do that and didn't was because I probably forgot. because I got done in here and then I jumped onto whatever other thing came in during the last 2 hours and just didn't get back to it. So if ever I do that, if ever I say I'm going to put a model up and don't, just tag me in the forum, say, hey, where's that model? Because I have them all. I literally have hard drives full of 10 years of models at this point. So I got them. Just let me know if you want them. All right. On that note, let's get out of here. Let's go start the weekend. If you're ahead of us, thanks for blazing the trail, folks. If you're just getting started, then have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. And we'll see you here, hopefully, say, give or take a week from now. Do we know what we're modeling next week? Do we figure that out?
I can look it up real quick. Let's find out. Let's find out together, shall we?
Let's shall.
For next week, we have geodesic model ?
Oh yeah, I seem to remember thinking I don't know about that one. What's after that?
Intentional imperfection modeling.
Ooh, that sounds fun. So we're not sure what we're modeling next week, but we'll let you know.
Or the other one after that was designing places with 3D warehouse.
Which we pushed that off because we kind of did that. Hey, I got a question for those of you who are still sticking around. We used to do these CAD example modeling sessions. Let me know if you'd have interest in doing that again, where we take two-dimensional drawings of CAD files that are supposed to help you practice making things in 3D. Let me know if you'd like to do that. We haven't done those for a little while, and I thought that might be kind of fun. But yeah, for now, I think we will wrap this up. Thank you so much for hanging out. This has been a lot of fun. Something will happen next week, unless something comes up and we cancel. Yep. So really, there's only possibilities.
It keep everybody on their toes, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you next time.